The Technical Vocational Education and Training College system is made up of about 50 colleges with just over 274 campuses. The purpose of the colleges is to train young school leavers and provide them with the skills, knowledge and attitudes necessary for self-employment and employment in the labor market. But TVET colleges are often viewed as being less prestigious than universities and are frequently associated with poorly performing students. What are the benefits of TVET colleges going forward? Perhaps to discuss this, we're going to be joined via Zoom by Reshma, Singh is the Head of Training and Compliance at the finishing school and a current student, Bohlale Kgofelo. A very good afternoon to the both of you. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Good afternoon and thank you for having us.
All right, Reshma.
Good afternoon.
All right, thank you, Bohlale. Thank you, Reshma. Reshma, let me start with you. Perhaps we could speak to the growth of the finishing school, perhaps since it started almost 7 years ago.
Yes, the growth of the finishing college is something we are extremely proud of. Since the opening of our college to date, we continue to grow year on year. Our first campus was situated in Savoy, and we've now moved it to Braamfontein. As you know, this is the student hub. So it offers easier access to transport for our students, and it's more central to cater for various other students around Gauteng. In terms of graduating students, we've graduated over 1,000 of students at the TFC College. And in terms of incredible growth we've had with qualifications that we can now add and offer through the Department of Higher Education, QCTO, CETA. Our Skills Development Division has also had growth. Yes, Lizo.
No, I was trying to understand, based on how you've scaled to date, I wonder what support you've received from government in assisting the future labour force. Perhaps if they have or have not, why are they not helping to solve the issue of youth unemployment, particularly when you are obviously providing that and helping with skills development?
Okay. So to date, we've received zero funding from government. The founders of the college have self-funded the college from their own pockets. However, this year, we're grateful that the WNR CETA actually sponsored 7 students that will be graduating with a marketing diploma. But however, we're asking for assistance from government and the corporate companies in South Africa to sponsor students, especially in the fields of engineering and IT qualifications, because that's the current skills gap that we have in this country. Our students are not funded through NSFAS and they self-funded. So there's been no assistance from government, and we hope that that's going to change.
What's an offer in terms of courses and or from the different faculties, and perhaps also walk us through the accreditation process? How are you accredited? Are you registered with the DHET? I mean, there obviously also talks of a lot of bogus colleges. So help us understand your legitimacy and really what's on offer.
Okay, thank you for that question. And I think it's very important for the youth out there and for the students that want to register with a college. The first thing you need to do is make sure that it's an accredited college, and that's exactly what the finishing college is. We are accredited with the Department of Higher Education, QCTO, and various CETAs. And in terms of faculties, we offer many, and it's quite a few to go through. So if I'd like to get your viewers to log on to our website, which is www.thefinishingcollege.co.za. And the few that I'd like to mention now are the faculties of media, IT, engineering, business studies, travel and tourism, fashion and design, and carpentry. And the reason that I mention these faculties is that we're not a college that would like to create professional learners. That is not what we're here for, and that's not our purpose. We don't want learners in the system of being educated year after year, but they do not get practical workplace experience, and that doesn't offer them a well-rounded theory, practical, in order to then find employment. With the courses in these faculties, it also allows for them to become entrepreneurs. And those youth that become entrepreneurs can help create employment for the other unemployed youth in South Africa.
No, absolutely. I think entrepreneurship aside, I wonder if we could just go back to the issue of support. You said that you have had zero support from government to date, perhaps from corporates at this point. How do you ensure that companies who do sponsor the programs and the students actually follow up with the promised employment placements, that they're not just, also having tick box exercises to look good and gain funding from government? Have there been challenges on that front?
Luckily to date, the kind of corporate companies that we have been sponsored by and in partnership with, they take training development seriously. It's not just a tick box exercise in order to get BE points on their BE scorecard. The companies have made sure that they invest in the students that they have sponsored. And we, as the training provider, ensure that these companies receive monthly reports and logbooks that explain exactly where the students are in terms of theory, what they've completed, as well as reports from the companies, the host providers that the students are placed on, to explain what is it that they're covering in terms of a practical component. The corporate companies that have sponsored and partner with the Finishing College, if they do not have the capacity to offer employment to the students that they've sponsored, they do keep their CVs on record. And should an appropriate position become available, they look at the CVs of the students that they've sponsored, and hopefully they meet the criteria and they have the headcount approval.
Right.
In saying that, yes, we get sponsorship from corporates, but in terms of our self-funded students, they are given the same exposure in terms of theory and practical. So it's not just a qualification, but it's a well-rounded experience that you actually get to put onto your CV, which makes you more marketable. Because as the hashtag and the slogan of the Finishing College is, think employment. We'd like to help address the unemployment in this country. So
Bohlale, let me bring you into the conversation just on the back of the sentiments echoed by Reshma. You're a student at the Finishing College, and I wonder if you could talk to how you got involved and what has been your achievements through the college to date.
First of all, good day to the viewers. So my journey with the Finishing College started last year around August 2022, and I was inducted into a program called Water and Water Waste Treatment. So what had happened was I got there and Ma'am Reshma basically explained to us what the program entails. It didn't just involve theory, it involved practical experience as well, which for me was a win in my books, because one of the biggest problems that we have today as a youth, especially when you're coming out of, say, university, right, is you're trying to find a job, but you don't secure one because one of the things that they're looking for is experience, right? And I feel like this is where TFC as a college is able to basically fill out that gap, because as soon as you get there, they tell you, we're going to foster your interest. We're going to make sure that we work towards helping you reach whatever prospects you have set by not just giving you knowledge, but also giving you hands-on experience. So my achievement, I actually got to be more engaged in this field that I wanted to go into. I got to go to the plant. I got to meet some of the people within the field itself, and I got to establish networks. I've even been to certain schools and talked about my experience ever since I had joined the Finishing College.
Bohlale, when do you graduate? How are you going to integrate your skills back into society, perhaps given the socioeconomic conditions? What was the hardest part being part of the college, perhaps reaching this point?
The hardest part is the work. It is intense, but all that needs from you as a student is diligence and commitment, perseverance. Despite whatever challenges you might encounter academically, you need to push past those to work towards your overall goal, which is to basically graduate and be work ready. As for the socioeconomic challenges, I was at home for a long time. I didn't have any opportunities available to me for a while until word of mouth had reached my ears on an opportunity that was made available through the college via corporate funding. And that is when I basically decided to join on through the learnership. And since then, I've been, like I said, working diligently to reach this point. And in about 2 months from now, I'll be graduating on the 25th of August.
Oh, wow. Bohlale, congratulations. Thank you for joining us and for telling us your story here on Youth Day. Reshma, thank you for giving us that info, perhaps also dispelling myths around, TVET colleges, perhaps the challenges faced, but also how you're contributing to solving the unemployment crisis that is faced by the youth in South Africa, and also developing pertinent skills. Again, thank you to the both of you for joining us.